Oh, let me finish chewing my M&M. I'm sorry.
Yep. All right. TV Dudes episode 275, recorded March 11th, 2020. Kids these days. Kids these days, am I right, guys?
Oh my God,
They're the worst.
that's why I don't have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are, but some of us want to have kids. Some of us already have
Some
kids.
of us don't have any choice.
Randy's are in the car if you
we
want
made
them.
that. Yeah, that's right.
You're already
I just-
stuck in there.
Yeah, they're just hanging out in the studio. They're fine.
You didn't have a show like Breeders to like get you to,
Breeders
steer you away from
Breeders
it.
is a good warning. And by the way, that shit is real.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about Breeders. We're talking about FX. I don't know if you guys know this. FX is on Hulu.
Is it on Hulu?
Oh my God, I want to talk about this because I'm not happy about FX being on Hulu.
You're not happy about it.
Oh, I'm pissed.
Okay, well, we'll have to talk about that.
There's two sides to this coin, and I definitely know you guys have no clue what I'm thinking
So they
about.
FX all up?
They FX'd it all up.
So we're going to talk about the new shows on FX: Breeders, Dave, and Debs. At some point, we're going to catch up on better things, but everybody's behind on it. So
It's so good too. I want to like give it. I didn't want to rush through it or
Yep.
like watch recaps or whatever. So I'm excited to actually like binge that one and then maybe in a month.
We'll discuss
or two.
this when we get into Breeders, but I never got into Better Things, and I don't know if it's that I'm like dead inside and have no love for children or family or
Yeah.
what, but it just never grabbed me.
the thing I like about Better Things, it is like Louis from the female perspective, and without Louis not involved, I can watch with a clear conscience.
Yeah.
They also nailed kid actors. Which
They did. Their
they're-
kid actors are so good.
When shows do that, they get so much more leeway than the shows that don't. Like I've seen some bad kid actors, especially this year.
Also, I love Pamela Adlon.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
So before we get to all of that, we're the TV Dudes. I'm Randy.
I'm Kyle.
I'm less.
And you guys can help us out if you go over to patreon.com/tvdudes. Throw us a buck an episode. In return, you will get us those sweet, sweet streaming services we need to do our job.
Oh, each one of them,
And-
including FX on Hulu.
Including FX
as
on Hulu.
I will mention in a moment.
And you also get bonus content every week. We get an episode that we might be talking about Star Wars. We went through a lot of the Star Wars episodes. We might have a bracket fight where we pitch different actors up against one another in their various roles.
Those bracket fights are fun.
We have a variety of things. So usually non-TV content, although we have slipped a little bit into sort of like Clone Wars and some of that stuff. But yeah, go check that out. It's on our Patreon feed. $1 an episode gets you full access to that. There's over 100 episodes of content on there.
Yeah, it's simple. We give you this show for free. If you like it enough, you can help us out, and then you get all those shows.
Right. And we very much appreciate our patrons. All right, it's
Yes, we do.
It's time for old business. Guys, what else you watching right now? I want to jump in and talk about the stuff that I'm watching.
What's that?
So I'm on a couple of network shows right now.
Okay.
On Hulu, because I don't have a TV, and I assume it's all on
I don't
Hulu.
have a problem with Hulu.
By network, you mean Hulu?
Yeah.
No,
So-
Hulu's fine. It's FX on Hulu that I have a
Hulu.
problem with.
So I watch Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. I
Yes.
keep watching that. It's very good. It's often tear-jerking.
I was about to say, I tear up almost every episode.
Almost every
Son
episode,
of a
and
bitches.
it's got a lot of fun songs. The gender fluid neighbor Mo, they did a really great episode with him lately, and then they did some really good stuff with Lauren Graham, and also why am I blanking on her name? Who's the mom? Who plays the mom?
Oh.
It's Ted Danson's wife, Mary Steenburgen.
Yes. Yes, I got to see
love
some great
her.
stuff.
And
Yeah.
she's so good in this. And if nothing else, they're doing a good job of giving roles to older actors. Mary Steenburgen, Lauren Graham, Peter Gallagher all get to do great
His
stuff.
eyebrows
in here.
are killing it.
They are, yeah. I mean, that's a thankless role. He's playing a dude who can barely communicate, and he has to have this sort of weird stroked out look on his face, and he is killing it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
And then every once in a while, just breaking a song.
and I also want to mention Stumptown.
I'm enjoying Stumptown more.
Oh
and
man,
more.
Stumptown is so good. It's what it was set up to be, which is it's a PI show. But the secret sauce, the secret of that show is the bad alibi, the bar.
Yeah.
Everything with Tukey and Gray.
I'm so
and
glad they brought in
Ansel.
Tukey to run the food truck in the
Me too.
kitchen, and Ansel steals that show. I'm so glad that they've done some Ansel-heavy episodes.
Yeah.
Having him move out to do his bucket list of turning 18
So good.
is so great.
Did you see The Date?
Yes.
The Date was it was so nice. I loved it. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Those are two of the shows I'm keeping up with. What about you, Kyle? What else is on your list of shows you're watching?
I just wanted to check on this one real quick because in the next couple weeks we're going to be doing like a reality TV game show slash
Indeed. Yeah, we're
episode.
going to get outside of our comfort zone.
We're gonna hit some of that alt programming, some of that stuff you flip through when you're at your family's house over Easter break
No
or
whammies.
whatever. Yeah, but one of those shows that we mentioned a couple weeks ago, just because it brings in all the things Will Arnett, is Lego Masters over on Fox.
I am still enjoying Lego Masters.
Same.
I now follow Brickmaster Jamie and Brickmaster Amy on.
I am in love with Brickmaster Amy. Like we could do a whole other
bit.
Brickmaster
Little
Amy
bit,
podcast. But no, my gosh, Fox for the money does this type of TV the best right now.
They're great at. I love Lego Masters.
I mean, I know it's not the most like highbrow form of television, but for what it is, like it's so captivating. And one of the stories that I just want to mention that I feel like they've done a really good job with is kind of these two. I don't even know how you describe them, but there are these two younger guys who are really good at building Legos, and they've been kind of in the lead. If you're watching the show, I'm sure you're familiar. They
These
got
like the Lego Bro dudes.
the Lego Bro dudes. They got the golden brick early on.
Yes.
First
And they
episode.
used it. Yeah.
Yeah. They, later in the season, end up using their golden brick in an instance where they probably didn't need to use it. Where there's
I
think
see
they-
why they did their math on it, though. I could see why they used it.
I thought it was the right. I was the right call at the time. Yeah, I thought it was the right call.
but I
By
don't
the
think
way,
they really needed it.
I swear I thought those guys were gay. I thought they were a gay couple until we found out that they weren't. I really thought they were a gay couple.
I was happy to find out that the other guys really are a couple because I was like,
Yeah.
if you guys aren't dating, your wives got to be furious.
Wait, the guys with the beards?
No, not those guys. The older guys.
Oh,
yeah.
I knew those guys.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, those
like,
guys,
But
yeah.
they're an actual couple. Like it's
Yeah.
not just like two gay dude friends. Like their whole relationship is adorable.
Yeah, it is.
So while they are showing them using the brick, all right, on the commercial breaks, they're showing on next week's episode. At the beginning of the series, they showed this clip on this season on Lego Masters, and it is a clip from the skyscraper episode. Have you guys seen this yet?
No.
Oh, I haven't seen this skyscraper episode yet.
They show a clip of these guys pushing their project in
Oh,
for
no.
review, and
And it
right
falls
before
apart?
it falls apart.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
And they showed this clip
You say that these are called
4 or 5
commercials?
at the commercials, which is something I'm going to get into when we talk about FX on Hulu. But
So they're not part of the show?
no, but this lead, it's all misleading. Like the context at which they break their sculpture couldn't be any more different than like all
The way
times
they've
they
edited
showed-
it together, it
yes,
looks... Yes.
You're
yes.
like,
That's
oh,
the genius of reality TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, and hook, line, and sinker. Because the thing is, you're talking about what they're not talking about. You're talking about what you've seen in the clips.
Yeah.
And you're like pointing at the screen, like, wait, there's a guy in a monkey suit. They're dribbling the basketball. You know, like I see it.
You know, it's interesting. I watch this show with my son every week. He's 12, and because he's a big Lego fan. But it's funny because I've seen a lot of reality TV. So when they're doing the time pressure stuff, and it's like 5, 4, 3, and he's like, they're never going to make it. And I'm like,
They're always gonna make it.
I'm like, they just showed you something from 30 minutes ago. It's a trick. It's just
Yeah.
they're trying to hide attention. But he's buying into it. It's hilarious to
But
watch.
I mean, and honestly, Fox does it so well. Like, part of the game of this is that they're this good at getting you to forget that this is entirely artificial.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the Lego stuff is great. By the way,
man.
we all think that married couple they have it right. They've been kicking ass on every channel.
Oh God, they're killing it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the
The married couple that he was into it and she became it. Like she is
they're-
wife of the year. Like for getting into it.
because
as
he
much
is
as-
so nerdy for
Yeah,
Lego, and
yeah.
she's so good at it.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the ones that look like they're trying to sell you Bibles at your front door?
Oh,
That's
totally,
them.
totally.
Yeah,
They're
that's
gonna come
them.
door to door and sell me like the brick Bible.
They're the
Yeah.
winners. I'm just saying those
saying
guys.
They got some good Lego skills, but I,
mean, they are-
cannot look at them for more than 2
Oh,
seconds.
they are as thrilling as Wonder Bread.
They
Yeah.
have sex through a hole in a sheet.
But they're
For real. For
But
real.
I mean, doesn't it
holy
make sense
shoot.
that they're the ones who know the
But
Legos the
that
best?
sheet is made entirely out of Lego.
Legos,
Dude.
yeah,
He did it
yeah.
in like 10 minutes.
Like,
His
don't get-
penis is Lego.
Don't get me wrong. I want the bearded brothers to win. or I want the cosplay girls to win.
I like the bearded brothers.
Or I want the two African American brothers. I love those dudes. Is one of them a cop?
I know, but they're super into it. I like them. I was
like
sad
them.
that the
Not
dad
the
and
business
son went
guys?
home.
No, not the business guys. The other guys.
That are always in super fucking awesome suits and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
they
those
did
are
a
the
whole
bus-
presentation.
Yeah, those are the business
Okay,
guys.
the business guys. No, the other guys. The two guys who I thought were brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, one guy's a beard. The other one doesn't.
He
Yeah.
sings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like everybody in the show.
I was
but,
sad that
Yeah.
the crying father-son duo went home, but I
Yeah,
knew
but they were their
they
skills were not there.
no,
They were
it's
an
not
interesting
there.
story, but their skills were not there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that dad could be a character actor though.
Right?
So
Yeah.
many things.
Yeah, for sure.
Aziz Ansari, when's the next season of your show coming back? You need this guy.
Les, what do you even catch stuff
So,
on?
speaking of FX on Hulu, a little show called Mr. Inbetween. Season
Yeah.
1 had been on Hulu for a little while, but there was a second season out already on FX, and because of the FX on Hulu drop, it's now on Hulu.
Yep.
So when you were talking last week about enjoying that kind of laughable Better Call Saul, or laughable crack house raid, like
Yeah.
Elmore Leonard crime comedy kind of stuff, Mr. Inbetween does that really, really well.
Okay.
So this is an Australian show. I'm blanking on the actor's name. I can't believe I forgot it.
He looks mean.
So
Yeah.
he also writes and produces this show. Like it is him and the director. It is their baby. They made apparently they made an independent movie that is basically like a pilot of the show, and then now they made the show. And so he plays a character named Ray.
It's Scott Ryan.
Scott Ryan is the guy's name. He plays a character named Ray, and Ray is a professional criminal. I can't stress the professional enough. Like, a couple of times in the show, you see him do something really emotional, but it's very rare. It's just very matter of fact. He is hired to go do bad things, and it's not. It's just criminal business. And so consequently, you end up in a lot of situations where he runs afoul of other criminals and everybody. You just got this like layer cake level of understanding of like why we're all here and the professionalism of it. There's one point in the first season where this dude owes God knows how much money to a bookie, right? Ray works for this guy that runs a strip club, so he goes to the strip club for his job, quote unquote, and gets told whoever to go rough up or kill or whatever he's got to do. And Ray gives no fucks. So he goes and picks this guy up and drives him out to the middle of nowhere, like tries to get the money off him. The guy doesn't have the money. It's way past this point. He knows what he's supposed to do. He drives the guy out to the middle of nowhere, makes the dude dig a hole, kills him, puts him in the hole, and fills it.
Oh, wow.
Drives back. The next day he walks in, and his boss is like, Freddie, his boss, is hysterical. But his boss is like, so, hey, man, funny story. That dude wasn't the dude. and Ray's like, really? Because it's done. So he's like, oh, I mean, you'll still be paid. Like, yeah, okay. I mean, I knew that. But don't ever, like, and you can see the look on Ray's face of like, I can't yell at you for this, and I don't really care the right dude or wrong dude. That really doesn't matter. But also, fuck, man.
Yeah.
It's like this stuff happens a lot. Like,
Funny story.
I mean, he gets thrown in the trunk of his own car at one point, and then that car gets stolen out of a parking lot while the two guys that kidnapped him were inside a store. So later on, like this dude at a chop shop, like hears something in the back of this car and opens it up, and there's Ray laying there. And the dude just shuts the trunk of the car and walks out of the garage. Like, I'm not involved. Like the show is just full of all this shit, and it's a combination of him doing these Elmer Leonard style like idiot crimes, and his actual life of trying to date. His brother has a nerve disease similar to MS, like something they don't say what disease, but it's something in the same class of neurodegenerative diseases. And he's having to go to anger management. He's been in prison before, so every once in a while he'll be in his anger management like group circle, and you can just see the damage he's doing to this group. Like because his explanations make total sense. There's a scene where he's with his girlfriend, that doesn't last really long. They're out in their car. This guy pulls up behind, basically like road rage incident. And he honks back and flips the guy off, and he's being pretty calm. And this other guy like stops the truck and like gets out and starts to walk up to the car to like fuck you, like to and he's got his girlfriend in the car. And he sees in the mirror, he sees the one guy get out, and then he sees a second guy get out of the car. And at that moment, it changes from, okay, I'm going to get out and go deal with these guys, to he gets out of the car, he walks back, has to put one of them in the hospital. I mean, like, like absolutely fucking, like, the dude does not walk away.
Right.
Like, but he does it to, I mean, instantly. It is so vicious, and you can see his girlfriend in the car, like, freaking out because her boyfriend just got out of a car and crippled 2 dudes.
Yeah.
And when he gets back in the car and she's like, we need to talk about what just happened. And he proceeds to give the best, calmest explanation so that you're sitting there afterwards going, dude, you're still wrong, but also I agree with your point. Because he looks at her and is like, no, if it had just been one guy, I'd have got out and gone and talked to him. It probably wouldn't have been anything. Maybe I punched him in the nose.
Yeah.
When the second guy got out of the car, I'm tough, but I'm not that tough. 2 guys could end me, and then it's just you.
Yeah.
And that's just 2 dudes and you.
Yep.
And I can't let it get to there. So I can't even risk that second guy can even get a shot in. Like, as soon as the odds changed, he just ends them both.
Yeah.
And like, this kind of logic goes through the whole show with everybody else in society going, that's not okay. And he's like,
but you're not
it's
wrong.
kind of okay. Like, he just keeps making these arguments of like, if more people had a bloody nose, there'd be a lot less war. Sometimes people just need to get the shit beat out of them. Like, I don't know. So there's 2 seasons of this, and it's just this great Australian Omar Leonard, basically, or Joe R. Lansdale, like, just crime dude.
Nice.
Mr. Inbetween is a blast. I hope to God there's a 3rd season of
Is
this.
it good on the binge?
Yes, very much so.
Where do I watch this?
FX on Hulu, buddy.
FX on Hulu.
Where everything
All right.
good is.
All right. So that seems like a good time for us to segue over to HanxWatch.
Which hopefully, now we've had a week of news that we can't really get to.
We can't talk about, yeah.
Hopefully everything is fine
Yeah.
from Mr. Hanks from last week.
But also, this isn't really HanxWatch anymore. This is Oliver Platt Presents, the TV Dudes Present.
I'm sorry, I meant to forward this to y'all. Oliver Platt's people reached out to us.
Again?
What?
Yeah.
What were his lawyers
Yeah,
like?
they weren't Diggstown in it. No, but we've got to stop. So new actor who I don't think listens to podcasts or has legal representation, David Morse.
Oh, David Morse Presents.
Character actor David
Yeah.
Morse presents the TV Dudes present the
Power
TV Dudes
rankings. Top five power rankings.
Top power rankings, because the top 5 doesn't really change.
So, Kyle, you going to tell us what was last week's shows, where they landed on our top 5?
We had 3 shows we talked about last week. Altered Carbon on Netflix, Dispatches from Elsewhere on AMC, and Better Call Saul on AMC.
Those are all in the top 10 now, right?
Yeah, not exactly. If you had to put one of those on actually everybody's got the list, so you guys can't really guess.
I mean, I can guess all you want. I played role playing games. I can pretend to not know things my character knows.
I don't know if you were just ranking these 3. I think they were ranked pretty decently, but the bottom one being Altered Carbon.
I'm
which
surprised by that.
I really liked, but I also think these other 2 shows kind of have a pinch something else on top of it. But when we dug through the internet, pulled up the IMDb percentage, the Metacritic score, the Rotten Tomatoes, both the critic score and audience score, we got a 400-point scale, and Altered Carbon scored a 285, putting it in our 20 spot on our rankings list. That is 1 spot above Dispatches from Elsewhere on AMC, which got a 291. So 285 to 291. And again,
Now, Randy, I see your Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist is on here.
Yes, it is.
It's number 17.
ranked higher than both
it's in
of
the top
those.
20.
Yeah.
It's good.
The one that really said, "Oh, your list, that's cute," was Better Call Saul with a combined score of 364, which makes it our number 2 ranked show on the entire list.
I honestly can't believe how close it is to Rick and Morty's score. Rick and Morty's at 367. It's at 364. I didn't think anything could catch Rick and Morty. At one point, I thought it had a point total that was so far past like the next one down.
So what's crazy about this list is I haven't figured out how to sync our list with the websites. So what I've done each week is each of the scores, I have a link. So I can click and verify it. It only takes like 20, 30 minutes to click through all of them. But a lot of these shifted a little bit. So Rick and Morty actually went down a point or 2 since this would be 2 weeks from when this episode's going to air.
But it's still number 1.
But it's still number 1.
Michael Rick.
So there's going to be some shift. Some things can move around. But yeah, we also mentioned Lego Masters. That's in our number 25 spot. That's got a 259.
And October Faction is still the loser.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Nobody even writes about that on Metacritic.
All right, it is time for the main event, new business, and Kyle, please tell me your thoughts on Hulu on FX.
Well, yeah, let's get into this, okay? Because there's a couple things that we're talking about here, right? We're talking about Hulu, which is its own thing. We're talking about FX,
Yep.
which is its own thing. Then there's a third thing, which is FX on Hulu. Guys, there's a fourth thing.
Yeah.
FX on Hulu exclusives.
Yes.
Devs is an FX on Hulu exclusive.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Which means if you didn't cut the cord, if you are a normal, not a normal citizen, I guess you're fringe now, but if you have FX cable, you don't get Devs. You just get the commercial for Devs in between everything else. So it's just like, watch Devs exclusively on FX on Hulu.
Like if somebody's watching like Survivor on CBS and they're just getting Picard commercials in between.
Yes, it's the same thing as Picard. Like you have to watch the show on Hulu, which we have Hulu for the podcast. You know, I can switch back and forth.
So Kyle,
It's
you're
no
not
big,
angry for yourself. You're angry for the people.
I'm in it for the people, but also I have a DVR and I love fast forwarding through my commercials. It's one of my I pay for the privilege. All right.
So when they cut them out for you,
Yeah.
It's like someone cut up your steak for you.
Well,
I could have done it.
You feel infantilized.
I still have commercials on my Hulu. I don't use the one that you guys use.
You don't use our Hulu?
I know. I should totally.
That
do
the,
that.
that the Patreon pays for that has no commercials? What is wrong with you?
I didn't realize it was commercial free till this
Kyle,
moment right now.
my God.
You've created your own problem for yourself. Is what happened here? You have hoisted your own
I think I'm
petards.
gonna be moving
Kyle on
some
FX on
passwords.
Hulu.
Kyle on FX on
Later.
Hulu exclusive. We've solved your problem for you, Kyle.
Actually, my problem is solved. But that's the thing. You got Daves and you got Breeders, which you can watch all day long, wherever you want. But Devs, you got to go exclusively FX on
Do you guys
Hulu.
remember the caper where we weren't sure who was paying to make us all watch the Top Gear, and we
Yes.
were sure it was secretly Kyle, but it was actually secretly Les?
Yes.
I feel like we just had a replay of that with Kyle, the whole travails of Kyle learning that we have commercial-free Hulu this whole time. It was a non-problem.
What do you mean we have a cable?
Yeah, it's so bizarre because I'm often like, man, have you guys seen this commercial that keeps popping up on Hulu?
And
you guys,
yeah.
I don't know what commercial you're talking about.
Yeah, and Les and I are like,
It's so
what is a
funny.
commercial?
What the fuck are commercials?
What is a commercial? We've got commercial-free CBS All Access. We've got commercial-free Hulu. We don't do commercials.
We have CBS.
So I do want to mention, for me, FX puts out a lot of good TV. And it's
Yeah.
frustrating to me because basically I had to like steal my parents' cable login to watch You're the Worst, which is one of my favorite shows.
Or What We Do in the Shadows.
Or What We Do in the Shadows. And it was frustrating. It was kind of like AMC is like, it's fucking impossible unless you just buy the show, which is what I've given into doing. Or Comedy Central, where I got to wait on Rick and Morty to finally show up somewhere. Like, I hate things that aren't streaming.
There's so much TV now that I'm sorry. I don't care what your show is. It's dropping to the bottom of the pile.
Exactly. It's like, well, I'll watch it when it comes on streaming in a year. I'm sorry, which I
Because
fucking love.
I can go pick up Better Call Saul and catch up. I've got things I can
Yeah.
watch that are great.
Yeah. So FX on Hulu was a win-win for me. I'm like, okay, great. Easy to watch. Shows I like.
Got that second season of Mr. Inbetween I could watch. Can catch up on What We Do in the Shadows.
Yep.
You're the Worst is on there now. But yeah,
So these three shows couldn't be much different. Breeders and Dave have something in common, and they're both comedies.
does Breeders have any kind of sci-fi or horror element?
Not at all.
Okay, so from the ads, and I know it's what they're going for,
Yeah.
but the TV, like the print ads and the commercials and stuff, I really thought it was going to be something similar to like Mom and Dad, or what was the one with Elijah Wood, where horror movie where like all the kids are cooties.
Well, you know what it reminds me of? This is a weird
I
comparison.
thought it was going to be
make.
zombie children. I was so disappointed.
Oh, do you remember when You're the Worst launched, which you and I both loved? There was a show that launched alongside it called Married.
Yes.
with Nat Faxon and Judy Greer.
Yes, I love Judy Greer, and I really like
remember
Nat
that.
Faxon.
Did
I did not like that show.
Married at all.
No.
And I tried it. I watched it for a long time. This feels like that because it's got Martin Freeman. I forget who plays the wife. Do you remember?
Oh, she's great. She was on episodes. She played the assistant. Did you guys watch episodes?
I watched some of episodes.
Oh my gosh, this character she played on episodes. It was kind of a one-note character that didn't get a ton to do, but she was fantastic.
Yeah, so she's an actress who I don't recognize. And Martin Freeman, of course, everybody knows Martin Freeman.
Yeah. And I
Daisy
think-
Haggard is her name.
Yep.
And she was on episodes. She was in Harry Potter, apparently.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Also, her dad is a character on the show. I don't know if you got to that episode yet.
I've only seen half the first episode because here's the thing, Kyle.
Okay.
Oh,
I
Michael
have
McKean.
kids. And I've been through all of this, and I'm here to warn you now. This show is accurate. It's scary accurate. It's too accurate. It's not funny to me.
So
I don't have kids. This show looked like it was just going to be very accurate about having kids, and I
Yeah.
was like,
There's-
I had a grown man operate on my testicles rather than that. So
I'm sure
good.
that there's.
so you didn't watch it either?
No.
Oh, I can go free solo on this one.
I'm sure there's an audience for this, but I
know
watched the
free
first half
solo.
of it, and I was like, "This isn't fun. It's not funny. I just feel bad for these people."
I'll tell you who the audience is for this one, guys.
People excited to have kids?
Actually, it's interesting listening to you guys say this because I watched the first episode twice. And the reason I did that is I got to the end of it, I had feelings, but I realized, if nothing else, this was something my wife had to see. Because me and my wife were trying to have kids right now. This is part of our life plan. And the first time I watched this, I was like, this is a drama. This is,
Yeah.
a father, he's like verbally abusing his kids.
Yeah.
This really tense situation. Like, what's the point of the show? Like, what's going on? And then I sat down and watched it the second time and was like, no, this is a fucking comedy.
It's just a dark
They
comedy.
think this is funny.
Yeah.
Like, that was a joke.
Yeah.
Like, he just told his that was a joke.
Yeah.
He just told his kid that if he didn't shut the fuck up, that he was going to leave his mom and make him an orphan.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many of these did you watch?
I've watched 3 so far.
And you like it?
Okay, I'll get into that.
That answers that question, Kyle. Whether you meant that to be an answer or not, that answers that question.
I'm gonna watch more.
So much better than this show could possibly be.
Now, TV Dude history for a moment, for just a second. I don't remember if either of you guys were here for this, but at one point we had Mystery Science Theater 3000, Master Pancake guest Joe Parsons messaged me and Grant and was like,
this.
"Have you guys seen this Tracy Ullman show on HBO?"
Yes.
And I was like, "I'm gonna go watch. It looks pretty terrible."
Not the
but
Tracy Ullman show, but her recent thing.
her new show on HBO. So he's like, "We should watch it. We should talk about it." So I watched it.
I think I was on that episode.
It was fucking terrible. And I'm like,
so bad. And the look on your face when you showed up that night,
and I was
were like, motherfucker.
I was trying to figure out how am I going to tell this guy who knows comedy so well he does it professionally that this was the worst fucking thing I've seen in my life. And it turned out that Joe thought it was the worst show he had ever seen.
was
He wanted
struggling.
to talk about it.
But there was a very scary moment of like, oh man, I don't want to tell Joe that this is very bad. Like very bad.
So I'm glad to learn, Kyle, that you're on board with what is this show?
So, okay. All of that is fair. All right. All of that is fair. I had to watch
It does have Michael McKean in it.
the
though.
first. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, Michael McKean plays her dad because the show is not just about breeders in the sense of here are parents and their kids, but it's also about parents and their parents.
Yeah.
So it really is about the couple, Martin Freeman and the brilliant actress whose
Yep.
name escapes me.
Daisy Haggard.
Yeah, Daisy Haggard. And their 2 parents and their relationship with their kids. And some of the great stuff about this is the parents are crazy. Michael McKean plays her dad, and then Martin Freeman's parents are also like just as racist and xenophobic, and all over the place, needy, and oh my gosh, their kids. The son, all right. First, the daughter is lovely. They've got a great daughter. She's fantastic. But their son is such a dipshit, like such a dipshit. And the episode that I think particular kind of sold me on what the show is I think it's episode 3 where they realize they've been going to the hospital quite a bit. And now the hospital is starting to get worried that they've been bringing their children in an awful lot.
Yeah, okay.
And they kind of make the joke. They're like, well, we've seen you here before. This is kind of a funny injury. And sure enough, it's right before dinner, and they're trying to get dinner ready. And it's like, all right, kids, dinner's ready. And the daughter comes in, and the son goes, I think I'm just going to stay up here and play for a minute. Like, the son is such a dipshit. He's just, yeah, I'm not going to eat dinner. I'm just going to hang out for a second, Dad. And Martin Freeman just loses his shit. And he's like, get the fuck down here right now. Go. And the kid runs down, trips down the stairs. And then you see he's got like bones sticking out of his leg.
Oh.
And Martin Freeman's like, we can't take him to the hospital.
Like they're going to think we...
Like, no, protective services, they're going to come and take you kids away if we take you to the hospital. Like, can't we just, let's watch YouTube. We can set it ourselves.
Oh,
like, we can do this.
Like Calvin's dad for the modern times.
Yeah. So anyways, they take it to the hospital. And then, of course, the people at the hospital are like, yeah, we're going to send social services over to your house.
Honestly, having seen the first episode, it feels like the social services could do a lot of good for the parents and the kids.
But it gets even better.
The class Cletus takes in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Because then
Take your garbage outside.
They have their trash full of liquor bottles. So then they go over to the neighbors with the liquor bottles. And then the neighbor's like, is everything okay? I mean, we hear you cursing at the kids all the time. And it's like, no, it's fine. He goes, well, just make sure you have something in your fridge. And it's like, what? And it's like, oh, yeah, social services. They want to see what the kids are going to have for dinner tonight, what they're going to eat for breakfast. And they're like, our grocery delivery's late. Like, we don't have anything in our fridge right now. So the social services
just liquor
people
bottles
there,
and mustard, no fridge. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, we're sorry we don't have any food. We got a guy who's coming, I swear. It's almost comparable to Curb in the sense that, like, these situations build. And you feel so bad for these parents. And now that joke from the very first episode, I did the air quotes, that joke that just seemed so awful and like what is going on here makes a lot more sense. This is a very extreme telling of kind of a modern stressful parenting story.
So Les, you can jump right in this?
This sounds like the same kind of humor as Avenue 5, except that I want to go to space and I never want to have children. So I think I'm going to stick with, I think Avenue 5 is more at my alley. This just isn't pointed at me. I have broken glass in my soul, and I think it's these people's fault that they're in this situation.
Do you know what I thought of when I first watched this show? I thought of You're the Worst.
I loved You're the Worst.
Kids are the
Exactly.
worst.
Nope.
You love You're the Worst. You like it, Les?
Oh, yeah.
We both
You guys
loved You're
love
the
it.
Worst.
I never watched an episode of You're the Worst. I never got the I caught little clips here and there. I watched like a half of, but I never got the appeal. But you guys always talked about it every year.
Yep.
It was on the show.
I
We'd
could see
bring it
somebody
up.
sitting down to watch You're the Worst and being like, this is a tragedy drama.
Oh, yeah, I can see that
and then
too.
rewatching the episode and going, they think these are jokes.
No, yeah, no, I can totally see where you're coming from.
So I think I'm going to be the guy who watches Breeders, and every year is like, guys, can I just mention Breeders for a second? Something crazy happens.
Okay. I can see that.
That is quite possible.
That's probably what's
right.
going to happen.
All right, so let's talk about Dave over on FX.
I'm Dave.
I'm Dave.
So
I'm Dave.
let me ask this of you guys. This is kind of an important question. I was unfamiliar with Little Dicky. Did you guys know Little Dicky and had the whole thing?
Yeah, no, I've been
Okay.
listening to Little Dicky for years.
I had no idea
So-
what the fuck Little Dicky was.
I had not heard Little Dicky.
So he made a rapper combine a few years ago, like one of the like legit rap or hip hop magazines, like put him on with like Designer and like a bunch of other like up and coming rappers. He actually made their like these are the 5 guys to watch for the next year.
Right.
And of course he looks Dave Bird.
Dave Bird. Yes.
Oh my God. Like Lil Dicky looks like nothing like that. I mean, he used
does
to work
not
in
look like a
advertising,
rapper.
and now he quit his ad job and
Yeah.
does this.
Yeah.
So like seeing that dude, it was a very much like, who the fuck okay, I'll actually listen to him. Maybe he can rap. Holy shit, can he rap?
So, well, and this trailer, when they dropped like the teaser, I guess a month or so ago, and I saw Dave Byrne or whatever in this guy, I was so fascinated by that first trailer. That's when I looked up all the Little Dicky stuff. And I've been like for 4 weeks listening to these albums nonstop, watching all these videos. I was on his YouTube page the other day. I had 65 likes on my comment. Like, I'm like commenting with the Little Dicky like fan base right now.
Yeah.
Like I've gone in deep, guys.
So all I knew, Little Dicky was a rapper that some of my friends liked. So I went into this and I watched this first episode, and it's all this guy being this nerdy white dude being awkward with his girlfriend and trying to get a rapper to do a part of his track,
Do a verse on his track. When he has to tell his parents he's taking his bar mitzvah.
Yeah, he's taking his $10,000 bar mitzvah, and they're freaking out.
You stole the beat?
You stole the beats?
So I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is fun enough, but I'm not feeling this. Like, I'm like, it's okay. I kind of see the appeal of it, but I think probably this is not going to be for me. And then he fucking rapped. And I was like, holy shit, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he steps up and really does it. The second episode, he gets roped into having to rap at a kid's wake.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah. So before we talk about that,
John,
this compared to me to like Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's so basically Mrs. Maisel. I watched that first episode and I'm like,
Mrs.
this is
Maisel
okay.
in Atlanta were trying to be the same show.
I'm like, yeah, I kind of like this. She's likable enough, but where is this? And then you get up on stage and do the bit, and you're like, oh shit, I see where this is. It's the contrast between the life.
I want to see his career take off in this show. I want to see Dave Bird make it.
That was exactly the thing. It was like I was like all of a sudden I was like, oh shit, I get it now. And then we got to the second episode.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Lil Dicky, one of his music videos, it's called Professional Rapper. It's animated.
With him and Snoop Dogg?
Yeah. It's a job interview with Snoop Dogg, and he's interviewing to be a professional rapper.
Oh, by the way, I went down that same rabbit hole you went to. I just went down a couple weeks later because right after the show, I put a Spotify playlist of Lil Dicky on and started listening to it. Holy
There's
shit.
a lot of stuff on SoundCloud too.
It's just stuck in my head constantly. But anyways, I put this in for my wife, and I'm like, oh, you got to watch this. It's hilarious. And I walk back in, and she's at the end, and she's not really laughing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did you think it was funny? And she was like, oh, no, it was funny. It's just really sincere and interesting. And I think that's his appeal.
Yeah.
Is that underneath it all, he is 100% sincere.
Watching him genuinely try to justify having a Lil Dicky online presence to his girlfriend.
Got head.
Yeah, and like, no, but it's like a character, and oh god, then the guy comes, his roommate.
When that guy comes later,
yeah.
that joke paid off
and watching
so
his roommate
good.
just let him hang.
Yeah.
Like,
by the way, this also reminds me of Pete Holmes on Crashing.
Yes.
This guy who's doing these sort of in this sort of filthy world, but he's not necessarily filthy. He's just kind of a guy. Like Crashing plus Mrs. Maisel plus Rap World. I mean, this was
there's a lot of firearms over here. I just didn't know that there would be guns. He just turns around in the studio and is like, oh my god.
But that second episode where the parents come up to him and they're like, we want you to do a... And I love that he's like, you've heard my stuff, or like, it's going to be pretty irreverent. Like, I don't know if this is right for... And they're like, no. And so...
You'll make it wonderful.
They've teed it up that he is going to go, and it's either going to be a spectacular flame out where they have misjudged and he should not be the guy doing this, or it's going to be suddenly he's going to get up and it's going to be like the end of the first episode where it's like, oh wow, he's amazing at this. And instead they go a third route that I did not see coming.
When he demos what he's going to do for his girlfriend and the assistant.
Everybody's like, you gotta release that track.
She's like, is it funny? You know, I think he asked him, he's like, is it funny? They're like, yes. Like, should I do it? Like both of them trying to explain that, like, I mean, it is funny. I'm laughing, but not for the reason that you want.
They're like,
is that how you're going to do it? Yes, it's how I'm going to do it.
They're like, we want you to do it, but not for the reasons you want to do it.
Was it John's gone or John's dead?
John's gone, I think.
John's gone.
Man. And I love the character. I love the actress playing his girlfriend. I love Gata.
Gata is really good.
God, I can't remember what he calls it. His gander and his wiggle.
Oh yeah,
the gander.
Yeah, you gotta, I'm proud to be on your gander.
It was a ton of fun.
The friend's really good too.
Yeah. Well, he's doing his back in the tub
when they're in the drugstore and Dave just keeps hitting the help button and asking the guy questions.
Yeah.
Like, I love that Gata's like, y'all take basket. No, man, I'm going to get a drink. This is too much for me. I'm out. I'm like, where you go? Like, he just went to, like, there's a lot of it's very honest and sincere. Like that moment in the in the drugstore felt very like when Gata's like, no, man, this is too weird. I'm out.
Yeah, this is what FX does well when they do comedy.
Yes.
And I'm very pleased with it.
I feel like this very easily could have been on IFC and not been good.
Oh, for sure. I agree with you.
Like, I could see this not being my style. Their slight tweak of the tone would be wrong. This is really good on FX.
No, yeah, and this reminded me a lot of, I think, one of the most underrated shows on FX of the past 10 years, which is The Comedians with Billy Crystal and Josh Gad.
Josh Gad, yeah.
The Comedians would do, like, this ending to the second episode of Dave, where, like, you get kind of the big reveal of what happens at the concert, but then there's the joke about, where'd you get that jacket? Thrift shop. And it ties everything from the episode like all in, like how everybody's always comparing him to Macklemore and all this other stuff. And comedians would do that. They would end each episode with this one joke that somehow was a punchline for every joke they told the entire episode.
Well, you can probably watch Comedians on FX on Hulu now in commercial free. Kyle.
His buddy that is the sound producer, like a sound engineer.
Yeah.
And like, so why do you keep inviting Gato around? Like, well, he's just cool. And like, because he's black? Because I'm also black.
Yeah.
Watching Little Dicky try to explain the difference. Yeah,
Or when he's like, no, do this. People do this. And he goes, yeah,
No.
but they ain't after this.
like they're gonna stop now.
Yeah, they're going to stop now.
Just wave my hands in the air. No, you're gonna kill that whole move. Yeah, I loved Little Dicky as a rapper, and when I saw they were gonna give him a show, I thought this could really work. I can see how this got greenlit, and I was just hoping that it would actually work, and it really seems to. I'm looking forward to more of it.
It's fitting the sitcom format really well.
Yeah.
And even Shannon was like, is this based off his real life? And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure it's not. Yeah.
This is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a goofy version of himself.
But yeah, it hits all those beats. And before those commercial breaks, you're really waiting to come back.
All right. Speaking of things you can't watch with commercial breaks.
Let's talk about our last show for the week, which is Debs on FX.
Now, this is Alex Garland, correct? Got so sick of his movies getting kind of sidelined and not marketed properly.
So Alex Garland did Ex Machina and Annihilation.
Brilliant.
And Gattaca back in the day.
Oh, he did Gattaca?
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw and loved Ex Machina.
Same.
And saw and hated Annihilation.
I really liked
haven't seen
Annihilation.
Annihilation yet.
The
Which,
ending was
for
a
how
little
much
not.
I loved Ex Machina, I'm kind of surprised I didn't run out for it.
I very much dug Annihilation. I wish more people had seen it in the theater. But
So-
I got why people might be mad at the ending. Either way,
But if you told me the guy who made
Ambition.
those two movies made this show, I'd be like, yeah, of course he did. Because he is obsessed with weird alien environments and like surreal, strange technology.
there's also a cinematic movie level of auteur's hand going on with the shots
Oh.
and the music.
You know what? Well, and here's something about that. Episode 1 and 2, both of them were written and directed by Alex Garland.
Yeah.
So, like, who else does this in TV right now? This kind of
Well, and it's a
film
mini-series
auteur's
event.
approach.
I'm wondering if all 6 of them are going to be him.
It may be.
Yeah, that's because I'm like,
4 or 6. There's only 4 or 6 episodes of this.
Yeah,
it's really
it's
short.
short.
shows do this all the time, where the pilot will get some like big A-list
Yeah.
Hollywood director, and it'll look gorgeous,
Yeah.
and then like Legion,
And then
this
it's
happened.
regular TV
Their pilot
afterwards.
was so stinking good,
Yeah.
and then the rest was good,
But it wasn't on the same level.
It was like, yeah, they didn't
No,
have
I
nearly.
think by doing this as a mini event and the fact that Garland really wanted to do something that would have heavier backing and let him play differently than the movies, I think that this is all going to be him. So far, it's stylish as fuck.
By the way,
it's so pretty.
if you thought that Legion was confusing, don't watch this. Because Jesus, I liked this, but I was 2 episodes. I got the 2 episodes. I got to the front end of the first episode, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this show's
Really?
about.
Well, okay, let's kind of set it up, and
So,
then
yeah.
let's go into spoilers on this because
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is
I
definitely a
didn't
show
find-
you want to discuss and
Yeah,
talk about your theories.
So this is a show about it's this company in Pacific Northwest.
Amaya.
Oh no, they're in San Francisco.
Oh yeah,
They're
yeah.
in San Francisco, and this company has it's got its like cult like guru leader.
Yeah, it's
They're
like
very
Amazon,
Yeah.
Apple,
Yeah.
Tesla
Google.
kind of level.
Played by Nick Offerman.
And they're doing some next. Of course, they also have a next level R&D department called Debs.
Called Debs. And our lead, Sergey, gets drafted out of AI after a very successful presentation to join the Devs team.
and
now,
the
Devs
AI
team,
he's working on is predicting behaviors.
yeah.
I also think this little clip at the very beginning of the episode
Yeah.
is setting up the much bigger theme.
Oh, I
of the
agree. It's
entire
definitely important.
series. Yeah.
So you've got a tech company run by Offerman that their main Google thing. Like their main product that they sell is Amaya, which is his dead daughter's name.
Yeah.
Also, Nick Offerman, he comes in first scene with the Parks and Recs jokes. Did you guys catch that?
No, I didn't catch it.
Oh my gosh. Our first scene getting to see Nick Offerman, he walks in with a salad.
Yeah, no, he eats the
Which I'm like, okay, it's a salad. But he digs his hands in there, and he is like a freaking pig shoving
weird
this
Silicon
lettuce
Valley guru thing really works.
Yeah.
It does.
But it's just like
But
shoving
it's Ron
greens
Swanson
in
eating the
his-
food as food eats.
No Ron of mine.
So his girlfriend who works in the encryption department, like she's very excited for him, and she's Chinese, he's Russian, and but she's like. He goes into Debs, and they're like, "You can't talk to your girlfriend about what you do here." And like, she's like, "No, we've discussed it. That's okay." But this is so mysterious. Like, whatever the Devs do, and when he's talking to Offerman's character, Offerman's like, "Yeah, I don't even know if the Devs know what they do." And his sort of second in command is played by Alison Pill, who is great here, as she's great just about everywhere.
That's why I was saying I think this and Picard.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really excited to see who's
So Sergey goes into Debs, and it's a very open camp. Like I brought in the smartest people from my company, and this is the project. You just sit down and look at it for as long as you need to, and decide where you can jump in.
Right, and they're in this weird suspended by electromagnetism cube, which is it's very much the kind of thing that Garland does.
Security, yeah.
And he goes in and looks at this code, and it's like.
And so, did you catch what the code clearly is?
No, I don't get it.
Well,
I didn't get it.
Before that, he looks at the code, and they do a really awesome job of just showing you how disturbing it is, what he looks at.
Yeah.
He
'Cause
gets
goes
up,
and throws up.
runs in the bathroom, and throws up.
Well, and then he talks to Alison Pill, and he's like, this changes everything. And she's like, no,
it changes
nothing. And I'm
That's
like,
the point.
what the fuck is it? I have no idea.
Okay, so the thing that he's working on that gets him picked for Debs is predictive behavior, right?
Yeah.
Like they can model a worm and show you what it'll do in 12 seconds or something like that.
right.
But they can't make it sink very long. But that's the thing that makes Offerman go, cool, we're going to move you to Debs. They move to Debs. It's what he sees combined with how Offerman behaves that add up to this. They are predicting back your behaviors. So this isn't so. Forget surveillance. Forget needing a camera anywhere.
Right.
We could look back at any moment in history from any. It's omniscience.
Precog shit.
But to do that, if that's possible, then we don't have free will.
Right.
Like if you can run back on the rails, then we're on rails.
Right.
And so Offerman's discussion about like you're on tram lines, I think it's in episode 2, he looks over at his security head who's like, I should really quit smoking. And Offerman's like, I wouldn't bother if I were you.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what you do.
Yeah.
and so like he has a very zen, like we just do what we do. So in the first episode, when he looks at him like, there's really nothing that you could have done except try to steal that from me with James Bond watch.
It's so crazy.
And you think he's like gonna forgive him, and clear he doesn't forgive him, and that becomes kind of the inciting incident of the show.
So this is clearly like creepy Silicon Valley company
Very
working in a
much-
black box is going to surveil, like is about to be omniscient if they finish this stupid fucking project.
Right.
And they. My one quibble with the show is that their test of being able to look back 2,000 years shows them the crucifixion.
Yeah.
And I wanted to throw something at the TV. Like, you're doing so well, don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah. It's hard to resist that.
Whatever. It still is a balls out giant science show with ambition to burn. It's everything I figured Garland would do for a TV show. Offerman's killing it. They are so fucking heavy handed with the halos and the Jesus imagery that I want to throw up sometimes. But
the fucking halos were so cool.
the trees,
I love them.
Oh, those are so cool though. I love the tech of it. I love the tech of it.
I want it in my backyard.
But every time they'd pose Offerman with one above his head, and I'm like, stop it. But all in all, I'm loving this so far, and I can't wait to see what Offerman's planning to do with this tech, because that's the thing. Like, what's the next move here?
See, the thing
I
for
have
me
a theory,
is,
but
the tech stuff is I was all like I wasn't paying as much attention to what was going on in that. I'm into for the characters in the story. The story of this girl who her whole world falls apart. Her boyfriend seems to have set himself on fire a day after working for Debs.
And they've clearly deep faked his walk because his gait is wrong.
So it's it's disturbing. It's like it's almost Lovecraftian. It's like she knows it's off, but she's still
It's real creepy.
well, and the disturbing part is how cold-blooded the characters who know that he's dead are covering this up
All of Offerman's
in a very
compassion for her
calculated
is
way.
so fucked up.
But I'm enjoying it from her point of view because I'm enjoying watching her like discover that her boyfriend was a Russian asset and go to her ex-boyfriend who she basically just ghosted.
I love the
new
ex-boyfriend
guy.
of like, no, I
fuck
don't
you.
want to help you do this.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
And then just going ahead and meeting with the Russian handler. Like all of that stuff was fascinating. And the scene that got me more than anything else, and don't get me wrong, I love Nick Offerman. I love all the weird tech shit. But the thing that got me, I was like, I want to watch the rest of this show, was the two handlers meeting up, the security chief from Amaya.
Yeah.
And the Russian handler meeting up in the
He's from
garage.
Good Wife and Good Place. He's a lawyer from
And
Good
I'm
Wife.
like, I don't know how this is going, but it's going to be bad for one of them. Because I wasn't sure who was coming out on top of that.
Honestly, there and spoiler, like I thought for a moment they were both going to lay their dead on the floor.
Yeah,
I thought, oh my god, this fight. Has
I don't
gone
know.
so
That's
well.
not what happened.
You haven't seen him get
End of
back
that
up.
scene, yeah.
Like,
I think
yeah,
for
this-
sure one of them's dead.
Yeah.
This show so far is got all the espionage tension I liked from Rubicon,
Or
but it's
Americans.
got so much sci-fi stuff going on that
Yeah.
I'm loving the tech of it.
I
like
think-
Mr. Robot.
It may also take a Donnie Darko turn.
Yeah,
I
they
Like
should
I was
make it
getting
real
big
weird.
Donnie
Like,
Darko vibes.
I'm waiting for them to turn something on in the tech, like make the world go bug shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Your
So we're
theory?
getting to-
Theory.
all right. So spoiler theory type things. Probably less spoilers and more just like, speculation. But, Ex Machina being kind of like my big Alex Garland intro. This character, we know his tech company revolves around this dead daughter of his. All right. My thought is that he wants to create this predictive technology because he wants to know what his daughter would have done had she not died.
I think that makes sense.
So he can essentially bring her back to life.
Yeah.
If we have
He
no
can see her full life.
Yeah, yeah. Like he can have the code there, and then if it's an AI or if it's a robot or whatever it is, like he can still have his daughter.
I'm also
this way.
wondering if they're trying for enough power to go back and change something. Like I'm wondering if there's any theory
Right.
behind
They
them
wanna
fucking
tweak.
with something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like because it doesn't. I mean, I don't think that's not my top pick because Offerman seems so committed to the idea that
We're on rails.
That we're on rails.
Yeah.
And that there's nothing to be done. But yeah, watching him and Alison Pill sit there and be these two people who have had all of the possibility snuffed.
Yeah.
Like these are two people who it's not a reason to go kill yourself or anything, but you can see the difference in them knowing that they're not making any choices.
Right.
And that behavior's subtle and weird.
Also, it is really creepy / interesting to watch Alison Pill play these two characters on Picard
Yes.
and Debs,
Yeah. Yes.
who have the same hair, are essentially kind of styled the same.
Wildly different women, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, like her and Debs, like I don't know, she's something zombie, like something
That humanity that's so-
robotic,
that's
like,
so
You can see the
prevalent,
smile
yeah.
come through every once in a while. Like you can see her
but it's like
when they do the successful test.
mischievous.
Yeah, you can tell that she loves being there, but at the same time, she's this cold bitch.
What's ironic is if the theories are true on Picard, she's playing an android,
call
and
it
here she's
baby.
playing a human.
So the theory on Picard is
There's
that
a
she's
theory that she's
yeah.
a synth.
I don't
know
think
if
she's
it's
a-
true.
I don't
I don't
think
think so
she's a
either.
synth.
She is playing a synth on Debs.
Right. But yeah, on Picard, she's watching her deal with the emotional fallout of not being able to handle the job she's doing.
Yeah.
It's just wild. And then
Yeah.
on Debs, watching her be so in control. Like
Yeah.
she's honestly got her shit down better than
Alison
Offerman.
Alison Pill doesn't get credit because she's great in Scott
Oh, she was
Pilgrim.
amazing in Network.
She's great
Oh,
in
not Network,
the Newsroom.
The Newsroom.
Yeah, she's fantastic in that. So she's always good.
Scott
Yep.
Pilgrim. Yeah.
So I think this show, if
she's the drummer.
Yep.
Forgot.
if nothing else, one of the best pilots I think I've ever
Oh,
seen.
fantastic pilot.
Yeah, like
Although
because
I'm glad they dropped the two.
Yeah.
Or did they drop the two?
Yeah, no, the two were up first. Yeah,
Because
they were
I
up
think
immediately.
watching the two back to back
Oh, yeah.
really
I
helped.
did.
But essentially, for people who don't know the tech world, I mean, I think there's a lot of people who heard devs and they're like, oh, yeah, the development department.
Yeah.
But they give you kind of the TV 101, here's what devs is, but they tell it from the point of view of this character who's essentially there for espionage.
Yeah.
And then they give you this whole psycho Alfred Hitchcock. Oh, no, you thought the story was about him. It's really
about her.
this other person.
That was a great switch.
Yeah, such a great time to use that and then to combine that with not only this brilliant visual style, but the thing that brings this world to life, it's the sound design.
Yo, man.
Oh yeah,
The sound
Sounds
design
great.
So
is
much above other
one
television.
of the heroes. Yeah.
Why doesn't other television let their score people go a little more nuts? Because, man, this
Yeah.
is really striking.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
really good.
Yeah, like you find yourself trying to decipher these sounds. Like, what is he doing to
Is
create
that DHS? Like, is this in the scene or is this score?
Yeah, it's
Right.
like a choir of like cicadas played backwards.
So we mentioned Annihilation and Ex Machina as
Yeah.
if Alex Garland popped on the scene just recently. The reason that people really should know him, he wrote the script for Sunshine. He wrote 28 Days Later.
Oh, right.
He wrote The Beach, which hardly anybody saw, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
But he wrote the novel of that as well. He wrote the script for Dread.
Oh,
wow.
with Urban.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
okay.
good.
I love Alex Garland, and though his movies don't always hit squarely for me, he swings for
Yeah.
the fences so hard. We need sci-fi like this.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Even though I don't love Annihilation, I respect it for its ambition.
Real quick
I
about
didn't write the
Dread.
book of that, but
Way to rip off Raid, but I mean, if you're gonna rip off anything,
Oh, yeah.
rip
oh
off
man,
Raid.
if
Yeah.
you saw the Raid and went, I want this to be a Judge Dredd movie, I support this.
Hell
In
yeah.
fact, make the Raid 2, make Dredd 2.
Yeah, just make
Yeah.
Dread 2. Just go ahead and do Raid 2. I'm fine with it. Yeah. All right. That'll do it for us this week. Thank you for our journey through Hulu on FX.
Oh,
Or FX on Hulu.
exclusively on
Exclusive.
Netflix. Well, not for me anymore. I got those commercials gone now.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Les.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
And thank you, listeners. Thank you, patrons. Thank you, David Morse, for your sponsorship of our top 5.
Power rankings.
And until
Hearts
next
go out
time.
to Tom Hanks and
Yeah.
get better.
Yeah, get better.
Until next time.
TV dudes out.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener-supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/tvdudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV dude Gregory J. Amani Smith.
To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.